I never imagined that the happiest day of my life would turn into a nightmare. I'm Porter, a 29-year-old software developer in London, engaged to Tabby, a kind-hearted woman I met 3 years ago. Her mother, Mrs. Markham, always had a way of making me feel like I was never good enough for her daughter. She'd often make snide remarks about my job, my background, and even my choice of clothing. But Tabby always stood by me, assuring me that her mother meant no harm. The tipping point came during a family dinner at Tabby's apartment. Mrs. Markham, with a glass of wine in hand, looked me up and down and said, "You know, Porter, you're a glorified assistant. I hope Tabby knows what she's getting into." I felt the sting of her words, but chose to remain calm. I turned to Tabby and said, "I'm here because I love you. I'd never disrespect you or your family." Tabby gave me a reassuring smile, but I could see the discomfort in her eyes. Later that evening, I took Tabby aside and expressed my concerns about her mother's behavior. She apologized and promised to have a word with her mother. I forgave Mrs. Markham, hoping that things would improve. Weeks passed and the wedding preparations were in full swing. We had saved diligently for the big day, setting aside money in a joint account for the venue, catering, and other expenses. One afternoon, I received an alert from the bank. A large sum had been withdrawn from our account. Confused and concerned, I checked the transaction details. The money had been transferred to Mrs. Markham's personal account. I confronted Tabby immediately. She seemed taken aback and explained that her mother had insisted on handling the finances, claiming she had more experience with such matters. I was furious. I had trusted Tabby and her family, and now I felt betrayed. Determined to get to the bottom of this, I filed a police report for theft and breach of trust. The authorities took the matter seriously, and an investigation was launched. During this time, Tabby became distant. She stopped responding to my calls and messages, and I learned from mutual friends that she had gone on a private vacation with her mother, leaving me behind. The wedding plans came to a halt. I was left alone, grappling with the betrayal and the loss of the future I had envisioned. Months later, I received a letter from Tabby. She apologized for her mother's actions and explained that she had been manipulated into withdrawing the money and going on the vacation. She claimed that her mother had convinced her that I was not the right person for her. I appreciated the apology but couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. I had been honest and open with Tabby, and yet her mother had orchestrated this entire scheme. The police investigation concluded with Mrs. Markham being charged with theft and financial manipulation. She was ordered to repay the stolen funds and was given a restraining order to stay away from me. In the end, the wedding was called off. Tabby and I went our separate ways, each of us trying to rebuild our lives. As for Mrs. Markham, she faced the consequences of her actions. If this story moved you or made you think, subscribe, not just to this channel, but to the countless stories waiting to be told. Globally Told Chapters, where every story matters.